All right, everybody, we're back in this numerology book. We're going over personal year numbers. This is very intriguing. This graph we were going over in the last episode showed um, a proportion of power based off of your personal year. All right, you guys, we're back at the Openly Occultic Book Club. We're in chapter 9 of this book on numerology. Chapter 9 is about personal year numbers, something I had never heard about. And we started the reading the intro on the last episode. I'll link it in this video for you guys to go over that because again, I've never heard of this before, personal year numbers, and it's quite interesting. We're going to jump right back into it. You guys know what to do for the algorithm. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, right? And yeah, we're going to get back into this immediately. As I said, we were going over this and they showed us a graph, this personal year graph, right? And I'm trying to figure out how they find out the proportion of power. The numbers are 1 through 9. So today we'll go over, they're going to start with number 9 in the book. So we'll go over the number 9, the number 1, and the number 2. So, yeah, welcome back. Let's get it, right? Personal year 9, the peak year of change. We commence by analyzing this year first because it is both the end of the old cycle and the commencement of the new. At the forefront of the major peak in the 9-year personal cycle, it is the year in which change is set into motion. Right at the forefront of the major peak in the 9-year personal year cycle. Look at the graph again. It was pointing out in the last episode that when we were reading the last part, it was pointing out that we see the number 9 and the year number 1 are at the top, the peak of these cycles. So let's keep that in mind. And every cycle, it gets higher and higher, right? So the number 9 and the 1 are at the peak. The number 6 is like a mid peak, but definitely number 1 and number 9 are powerful years, powerful personal years in a person's life. And we're also noting the 4 and the 7 are personal lows, but it's not a bad thing. It's more like the things that you experienced previously are now being compressed to make room for new things, new magic, new adventures in your life, right? New data that you're collecting in knowledge, right? And experiences and what have you. So again, we're talking about personal year number 9. We see it's a peak year. This chapter is actually called the 9-year cycle of change. So we commenced by analyzing this year first, this year, personal year number 9, because it's both the end of the old cycle and the commencement of the new. At the forefront of the major peak in the 9-year personal cycle, it is the year in which change is set into motion. However, many aspects of the changes will not always be realized until later in the year or during the following year. These changes will vary considerably over the lifetime of each person, becoming especially pronounced during the 27-year duration of developing maturity through the pyramids. And we'll learn about that in the next chapter, right? We haven't heard about that yet. Wow, we've learned a lot, and this is some powerful stuff. I mean, we've learned about our ruling number, our day number, just the numbers 1 through 9 in general, because in our birth date we got all these different numbers, right? And now we're hearing about personal year numbers, and soon to come we'll be hearing about pyramids. So, incredible information to be learning about frequency and vibration. the frequency of numbers, right? General aspects of the personal year 9 include travel, change of home and or job, and the making of new and exciting friendships, often accompanied by the termination of some older relationships that we have since outgrown. It's also an excellent year for squaring old debts and extending the hand of peace to anyone with whom we might be at variance. A strong sense of humanitarian responsibility, tolerance, and improved understanding will noticeably prevail during this year. Hmm. So, wow. You're going to have to grab your journals and write down some stuff. Go in your memory banks, write down a little bit about things that have happened in your life so you can figure out when you last had a personal year 9, right? I don't know what this word is. It's a typo going on here, right? Something 9 people will be in no doubt as to the importance of this year, for they'll feel its vibrant power in every action. It should be their year of notable success. As the crest of their cycle, it brings them to an increased level of personal responsibility and idealism in whatever humanitarian field they express themselves. Should they be already overly ambitious, this year will strengthen their enthusiasm for egocentric success and could incite them to a degree of recklessness that might lead to extremely painful lessons. Fanaticism, superiority, and excessive seriousness can detract the individual from enjoying the excitement of this dramatic year. Hmm. So now it says here's the January in a personal year 9. Yeah, because again, I don't know how they figure out which year in your life is a personal year 9, or how they not just that. I figured out which year, but how do you know the amount of power? Well, I guess it truly doesn't matter. Just figure out, the personal years. So for me, 2027 will be a personal year 9 for me. You got to figure out your world year number, the world year number first, right? So what's the world year number of 2026? And then after that, you add the month you were born and the date that you were born. The day, not the date, but the day. For me, it was just, June 19th. So you add all that together and you'll find what your personal year number is. And in that year. So for 2027, it will be a personal year of 9. This year, 2026, I'm having a personal year 8. Wow. Right? Look how much we're learning about ourselves. So if you're having a personal year number 9 right now, it's about to go over what your January will look like. Let us know in the comments. If any of this, when we go over this, let us know if it resonates. It says, don't just talk about it, do it. To ensure that the enormous potential of this year is best utilized, commence it with a resolve to act on every suitable opportunity for positive change. Resist the tendency to merely talk about the exciting prospects for change in travel, work, home, and so on, and commence positive steps this month to wisely plan them. And for February, when you feel it in your bones, move them and follow the feeling. Often we feel the need for change, but rationalize it away through lack of courage. We need to be more aware of our intuition, respect it by honoring our sensitivities, such as through music, meditation, or in nature. Allow time for adequate relaxation to spiritually recharge. Okay. If you're if it the March, if you're in a personal year 9, here's the March. Who's the boss? You or your ambitions? Ambitious projects will do very well this month, so long as they don't get out of control. It's an excellent month for overseas travel, especially to new and exotic locales. It's also ideal for the commencement of new studies. Mental stimulation will always make life more exciting. Hmm, right? What about April? Continued financial success should accelerate this month, especially if your affairs have been efficiently organized and you're in control. It's also a powerful time for practical hobbies, such as gardening, carpentry, pottery, and so on, to take a surprisingly prominent role in your affairs. Okay, so May, that was just a few months ago. Maybe you can remember that far back. How'd your May go if you're a personal year nine? It says pay special attention to your loved ones this month. In the euphoria of change and financial success, it's easy to take for granted those who are nearest and dearest to us. Take time to show appreciation to family and work associates. It'll bring amazing awards to all, especially the giver. All right, June in personal year nine. New creative and artistic endeavors will excel under this vibration because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about vibrations. Man, I need to take a screenshot of that wavelength, right? Because that was amazing, and I am. Give me a second. I'm gonna scroll back up here, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of this graph from my records, right? So let me grab that. All right, got it. Um, we're in May. We're in June. So, new creative and artistic endeavors will excel under this vibration, but be serious about them. It's not a month for superficiality or half heartedness. Travel again features strongly this month, especially for long journeys, right? And keep it in mind, you could travel through a book as well, through reading, through researching, learning new things. And a long journey means go down the rabbit hole in June, right? It's going to be a long rabbit hole. And you'll learn a lot. You know what I mean? And, that's what's up. You feel me? Um, July, this month, if it's a personal year nine, this is a do it now month. We're almost to the end. It's the 25th of July, 2026. This is a do it now month. This is the time to put into action any important changes that you've been contemplating, but have so far failed to implement. It's a practical time when our understanding greatly benefits from wise actions. Okay? What about next month, August, in a personal year nine? Financial independence should take a huge step forward this month, especially if you've implemented the creative concepts of recent months. Take care not to let your financial success detract from your emotional enjoyment of life, right? Especially guard against any aloofness towards your loved ones. Okay? September in personal year nine, the power of choice will be felt nowhere more strongly than during this month. The power of choice. You should feel intensified courage to start new projects or more fully develop those that you're currently involved in. With perseverance, your timidity may be dispelled forever by your actions during this powerful month. It's a number nine. So that's a double nine. It's a personal year nine, and this is a September is the ninth month, right? And he talked about that in the last episode. We went over what he was speaking about at the beginning of this chapter, showing examples of double nines and double threes in a date and personal year, and how these, you know, are very powerful times to manifest things. So, yes, the power of courage. We got to be more courageous, and you know what I mean, in living our lives and doing things. You're going to have a creative spark. That's the spark of life. That's the divine feminine. It's going to come. Not all the time, but it could. But it's definitely going to come. It's in like a pulse, like a heartbeat. This need to create and be creative and manifest something, bring something into the world. And your success could be absolutely tied to that. If only you had the courage to do what your whole body is telling you to do, with your being, with your intuition. If only you had the courage to do it, you know. Let's talk about it in the chat room. The CJH chat room, the Openly Occultic Book Club chat room, is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't need to share your IP, your creative ideas with us. But, let's talk about having the courage to step out and do something new. Maybe you're ahead of time and nobody's even heard of such a thing. Hey, we love it around here. I love it. Eccentricity, creativity, all of that. You got a place here at the Openly Occultic Book Club chat room. All right. So if you have the courage at this time in September, it's coming up. Your timidity may be dispelled forever by your actions this month, right? This powerful month. So you could take advantage of that. We could take advantage of the vibrations now that we know, right? Knowing's half the battle. But you got to do it. October in personal year 9. From October 1st, the influence of next year's personal year 1 starts to rise, while this year's power starts to slowly diminish. The focus this month is towards self expression. Isn't it funny? It's during October, during Samhain. You know what I mean? Isn't that interesting? The veil gets thinner October 31st. You know what I mean? That's what we're being told. But it looks like October 1st is when the veil starts to get thinner. Or something, something, not the veil, but you know what I mean. It like it says, this power, personal year 9, the power in that year starts to slowly diminish from October 1st. Okay. The focus this month is towards self expression. It's a month of action as your ability to adapt to this year's change or changes is strengthened. Let's see what it says about November. November personal year 9. Increased confidence in your intuition will improve your decision making abilities and increase the practical side of your idealism, bringing with it an enhanced level of success in your life, both professionally and domestically. Hmm. That's what's up. Sounds good. Around Thanksgiving, something you could be thankful for, right? Increased confidence in your intuition, increasing the practical side of your idealism, bringing with it an enhanced level of success, both professionally and domestically. In December of a personal year 9, this is the last of the 3 month cusp or changeover period between personal year 9 and personal year 1, and its power is in mental acuity, strengthening your ability to understanding rather than persisting with habitual action, right? Recognize the need to evaluate demands placed on you so that you achieve a win win situation for your efforts and are not led into futile alleys of negativity. So, yeah, it's a reevaluation period, right? See what's holding you back and let it go. Hmm. Recognizing the patterns, learning from the patterns, right? All right. That's what's up. We're going to jump into personal year number 1. Let's see if any of this resonates with you guys. And by the way, where you guys watching from? Let us know in the comments where you guys are watching from, right? Make sure to like the video. Um, Personal year 1 is an active year of adjustment. So where am I at? Right, I'm in personal year number 8. So we'll get to me 2 videos from now. As for now, personal year number 1 is an active year of adjustment. This is an extremely powerful doing year for personal growth and expression as we adjust to the changes wrought during the now concluded personal year 9. The power of this year encourages us to dare to be different as we improve in self confidence and extricate ourselves from the limitations religion dominated society feels justified in inflicting upon its faithful. What a word. Okay, let me see. Now I can better pinpoint some things. If I go in my notes and check out these different personal years, it cycles 1 through 9, but uh, now we could kind of pinpoint some things because the power of this year, personal year number 1, encourages us to dare to be different and extricate ourselves from the limitations of religion. Isn't that something? That's something else, ain't it? And I say it because I had a pattern. I noticed this, wrote it in my journal years ago. I noticed a pattern of having downloads and getting an upgrade around February, March for years, and I have witnesses. So that's interesting that we're getting here to this type of information. I mean, like upgrades, downloads in spirituality or in building the confidence, the research, doing the getting the understanding enough to extricate myself from limitations of religion or religious dominated society. You know what I mean? So that's interesting, and I am definitely paying close attention to what's going to be said about the months of this personal year. Particularly, I just from here on out, I need to pay attention to this pattern that I know is going on in my life and see if it holds true when it gets to February, March. See if that holds true. So this is incredible, right? Anyway, for this personal year 1, it's an excellent year for the breaking of old habits. Indeed, adaptation to a new lifestyle invariably demands such severance. You're building the future you want. You're building your world. So some things, as you learn how you don't want them anymore, or that's not what you want, you start to build new stuff. So breaking of old habits comes along with that. This sounds great. Sounds about right to me. It's an especially powerful year for improving ourselves financially and selling on a wide scale, such as with real estate, business interests, and investments. However, the most significant and permanent success will only be achieved when people's motives are genuinely for the common good, free of personal greed and recklessness. Wow. So that personal year 1 is a good year to improve yourselves financially. That year 9 is kind of when you got it. It's just now you're on your way to compressing that information. So it looks like the financial success and selling on a wide scale, as we saw when we looked at that graph. We saw 9 and 1 was at the peak, and then you start to go down. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, the finances come right before you start going down and compressing all that knowledge that you learned through that time. It doesn't mean anything stops. You just keep going with the flow because soon you're coming to another peak, another year 9 and year 1. Right? Good to know. So again, I don't know what this word is. Ruling, I don't know. I'm sure I know it's talking about personal year 9 people or personal year 1 people. Personal year 1 people will find adaptation so effortless this year that they can be easily lulled into an aptitude of frivolity, right? They must be careful to avoid recklessness, especially in financial matters, and take heed not to succumb to egocentricity. With appropriate self discipline, they'll find it a year of significant material growth and personal popularity. So, we're definitely at a point where we need to get journals. We need to, along with our shadow work, we need to be kind of writing down patterns we recognize, right? Because you're doing your shadow work, so you're doing triggers, right? And you got to find out what's triggering you. We're talking about healing. right? We're definitely talking about healing and having a higher quality of life. That's the topic. So you're gonna definitely need journals to start charting and mapping the highs and lows financially and popular wise and all that in your life, understanding now that there's the upswing and then there's the downswing. And that doesn't mean it's bad when it goes down. That means that all that stuff from up there is now being compressed to make room for the new journey, the new cycle that you're about to continue on with, right? So it's that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Cycles. And we know there's cycles. If we're into astrology, we know there's cycles, right? We're in a human design, we know there's cycles, right? So, yes, in numerology as well, we have cycles all around us, like he was talking about earlier in the book. He was just talking about, or even in this chapter, talking about the cycle of the sun and the moon, the cycle of the seasons. You know what I mean? So, we understand their cycles, and now we can even understand even better, and we can have more control on the outcome, right? Or kind of have a little bit more control in some way, it seems to be. But you let me know if you think we have control or not. Do you think we can, even with knowing this stuff, can we really even control it still yet? Or do you feel like you're just more conscious and aware, but you have a destiny and you really have no choice in it? You're gonna go through what you gotta go through to learn what you gotta learn. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Leave it in my comments, my Openly Occultic Book Club members. But yeah, go to cedargroveherbs.com and get a journal. Definitely. We got plenty of journals. Amazing. You'll love it. And you can get 15% off your first order by just using the code Pure Love, right? PURELOVE, no space. So, what about a January and a personal year one? The time's now. There's no time like this month to flow with the surge of change that carries over from last year. It's a powerful month for business growth and for personal assertiveness. February in a personal year one, self confidence will improve with the strengthening of your intuition. Take care to use time wisely rather than flaunt it on egocentric diversions. Okay, March in personal year one, think and grow rich. This is a powerful vibration. See, March is the third month, so there's a three. Again, the threes and the nines, it was pointed out earlier, are powerful numbers. Think and grow rich. This is a powerful vibration for the development of lateral thinking, memory training, and the solving of hitherto difficult problems. From this expanded mental perspective can emanate a new dimension to your prosperity consciousness. From this expanded mental perspective can emanate a new dimension to your prosperity consciousness. Okay? So, March. Interesting. Because I just said I'm going to pay attention to what it says about February and March. For sure. Okay. April in a personal year one, a review month, one in which to tie loose ends and consolidate the dynamic changes of the past months, and to review and organize future growth. It's intended to be intensely practical month, an intensely practical month when balance and moderation should prevail. Hmm. Yeah, this is good to kind of make your plans every month, set aside one day every month to kind of do a recap of what's happened in the past month and to kind of keep these monthly things in mind to kind of keep going with your flow and not losing the momentum, right? You want to get into that tornado, that vibrational, that what was it? Abraham Hicks calls it something. I don't know. I forget. But some kind of tornado, vibrational tornado, vertex. I don't know, vortex. Yeah, you want to definitely keep track so that you can keep building momentum and not losing focus and losing the energy that you've been building up, losing the magic, if you will, that vibration, right? May in personal year one, it's never wise to be typecast. The excitement and joy of your newfound freedom will improve your confidence in self expression, creating surprises for many who thought they knew you. Remember, people only know of us what they know of themselves. And for most, that's rather limiting. Hmm. So, a lot of projections. Okay. June in personal year one, grasp whatever creative opportunities come your way this month. Be prepared for the development of a new aspect of your expression, be it artistic, domestic, or financial. Focus on home is powerful this month, but ensure it is creative and progressive. Otherwise, anxiety can creep in and upset your nerves. So that'd be a good time, to also take herbs for nerves, right? Help soothe your nerves. Supplement your lifestyle with herbs that support your nervous system for sure. You can find all that at cedargroveherbs.com as well. Because lately I've been selling nervine herbs, vagal tone herbs, nervine herbs in bulk with free shipping. So you get free shipping if you get a pound of ashwagandha, skullcap, St. John's wort, blue vervain. I love it. Right? Let's see, lavender. Yeah, you get free shipping. We're out of passion flower at the moment. When we get that in, that as well. You get free shipping if you buy it in a pound bulk quantity. Just use the code PROHEALER, PROHEALER, no spaces. Okay? And you can get that for your nerves. Let's see. About as far as July in a personal year one is concerned, this is a back to basics month when theories and plans must give way to actions. Put your new concepts to the ultimate test, set them in motion, then be prepared to discard those parts that don't suit, recognizing that we sometimes conceive more than we can effectively use. Right? Facts. August in a personal year one. A strong sense of independence flows this month, but take care that it doesn't distance you from your family or work associates, for close cooperation is fundamental to your continuing success, wholeness, and balance. Use your independence wisely, and it'll be a month of abundance. September in a personal year one, new areas of responsibility, promotion, or travel can bring significant change to your life this month. Understand that it's all a vital part of your growth, so take it calmly and avoid recklessness. All right, October in a personal year one, an important stabilizing month in which to undertake those duties that are incomplete or not yet initiated. Bring your affairs in order as preparation for the new emphasis due to enter your life next month, recognizing that your power to adapt is at its peak this month. Right? So you got to get your orders in preparation. You got some new stuff coming. Again, this is October. You know what I mean? Hmm. That fall, that fall, but it's not a fall, is it? Well, it's a fall of one energy and a bringing in of new energy, right? So, hey, change our perspectives, right? We're going to change our perspectives. So, November in a personal year one, from November the 1st, influence of next year's personal year two starts to rise. While this year's power starts to slowly diminish, satisfaction and enhanced self esteem should greet your success to date as the winds of change subside and a new spiritual reality starts to strengthen your intuition. Wow. Okay. What about December in a personal year one? Your past year's emphasis on action now gives way to a quieter and deeper understanding as your feelings touch a new depth of personal awareness. Many missing pieces of the previous month's puzzles now fall into place to bring a more holistic understanding to your life. Cool. That's great. All right. Let's get through with personal year number 2, and we're going to wrap this episode up for today. Personal year 2 is a spiritual growth year of sharing. A spiritual growth year of sharing. Okay. Though this year, personal year 2 is doesn't have the power of a peak number. This is a year in which its own powerful nature can be significant enough to cause many a turbulent personality to embrace calmness. Spiritual development is the primary feature of this year, with an enhanced awareness of life's more subtle qualities. Rather than being a year of major change, it's one in which the development of emotional control, spiritual awareness, and accentuated intuition can be expected. Okay? This is good stuff. Central to the growth under this year's vibration is the need to actively develop the power of meditation. By this means, more than any other, the body's cellular alignment is restored to achieve the inner power that we all want as our limitless energy reserve and our magnetic essence. Okay, so your cells are getting realigned here. Imagine that. Imagine that. By this means, we learn to be in command of our emotions, to act rather than react, to replace uncertainty and doubt with confidence and security, and to wisely discriminate between the more important and the less important aspects of our daily life. Following the 2 previous years of progress, some people develop a tendency to rest on their laurels or lapse into complacency. It is then that the negativity takes the opportunity to develop those reactive emotions of fear, nervousness, argumentativeness, and insecurity that can sometimes manifest in the most unexpected ways to make an otherwise likable person seem quite obnoxious or unbearably power crazed. Realize that it's a year for cooperation, for working together in one or more partnerships, home, work, sports, and so on. To satisfactorily achieve this, we need to be more loving and more accepting. Further growth aspects of this year. Wow. And can we see how this would be if we're saying life is like, you know what I mean? Can we see how this could be? That after these 2 years of the height of that cycle, progress and all that, some people could develop a tendency to kind of chill out, rest on their laurels, or lapse into complacency. And it's at that time that negativity can start to develop and manifest in all these different ways. And like I said, it's like you almost lost the momentum at that point. But now that we know this, we don't have to lose the momentum. We could continue going. It's kind of going on a downswing, but it's okay because all that is just to compact. You're still where you're at. You're still, if you just go with the flow and don't fight it, as it said earlier in this chapter, and not try to make changes, too many changes during these periods, right? So that's it's good to know. I think it's just good information to know to better organize your life. Maybe it's the Virgo in me that makes me like this so much. I got a lot of Virgo, and I'm very organized. Let's see. It goes on to say that these personal year 2 people will be especially susceptible to the increased sensitivity accompanying this year's vibration. I don't know, it's typos and typos. Pulling people. I know it's talking about personal year 2 people, but is it also talking about like life ruling number 2 people? I don't know because the typo. Hmm. Anyway, these people will be especially susceptible to the increased sensitivity accompanying this year's vibrations. It should not be surprising for them if their psychic awareness takes on a significantly elevated level of expression, almost projecting their consciousness into another dimension. Their cooperation with this development, by allowing adequate time for meditation and spiritual studies, will be powerfully beneficial for their own understanding of its power, as well as for their role in guiding others. Okay. Hmm. So if you're in a personal year number two, what's January looking like? It says a new level of spiritual awareness will be felt from the very beginning by those who allow themselves to become so attuned. Don't hesitate to express this new or enhanced power, for in so doing, its integrity will become the more speedily established as your spiritual confidence grows. February in personal year two, an intensified power of intuition is inherent in this month's vibration, and you should avail yourself of every appropriate opportunity for its expression. For this month is one in which cooperation and sharing feature strongly. Hmm. March in a personal year too. With the powerful mind vibrations of this month, remember, it's the third month, the number three. So, with the powerful mind vibrations of this month, it's important that your enhanced spiritual powers are understood and that you don't use them for manipulation or power seeking. Undertaking a new course in spiritual growth will be highly beneficial this month. Okay. April in a personal year too. Use it or lose it. No growth in spirituality or sensitivity is of any value unless it's applied to positive living. This is a month of action in which just such application could not be more appropriate. Cool. May in a personal year too. For those who've wisely used the power of this year, an exhilarated sense of freedom will enhance your new level of personal confidence. For those who've wasted their power so far, moodiness and frustration will indicate that you need to remedy the situation, as you're already halfway through the year. Hmm. June, personal year two. For those living positively, an expanded level of creative consciousness attends to your efforts. So you'll find this a powerful month to start a creative hobby or develop an existing one. For those who've not yet come alive, worry, stress, and a reactive nature will lead you to almost certain illness. Mm, it's good to know. Let me know in the comments if you're in a personal year two or not. We just had June. We're in July now, almost done with July. So let me know how the month of June went for you. Right? July in personal year two. Nature never forgives. Another month of rewards or penalties should alert the slow learner to the fact that the winners in this life are those who move with the opportunities. No greater insult can be thrown at our Creator than to ignore repeated growth opportunities. No greater appreciation can our Creator receive than to witness the wise investment of time and energy into appropriate opportunities that show up in our personal life. Wow. Well, when you put it that way, dang, no greater insult can be thrown at our Creator than to ignore repeated growth opportunities. Mm. It's all right though. Don't beat yourself up. Everybody doesn't get it at the first time, second or third time. You know what I mean? You're gonna get it though. We gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get it. August in personal year two. This is a potent month of enhanced spiritual power in which our independence and wisdom can attain new heights as we more fully discover who we really are, beings far greater than we conceived in our imagination. But this can only develop from applying our personal, excuse me, from applying our power to wise action. Hmm. Interesting. What about September? We know that's the ninth month. It's a powerful month, right? The nine. From September 1, the influence of next year's personal year 3 starts to rise, while this year's power now starts to slowly diminish. Our idealism should not be satisfied with anything short of excellence, as our new enlightenment accepts no compromise in its enhanced richness. For those who've yet to achieve the full potential of the personal year 2, the 3 months to the end of November should provide ample opportunity. Okay, what about October? This is an excellent month for improving finances if decisions are intuitively guided and we don't react to other people or external pressures that don't feel right. Right? So everything could be great, but don't react to all that other. Continue going on with your inner light. You know what I'm saying? Continue to let your inner magnet pull you in the direction you need to go. November in a personal year 2. This is the month when final arrangements for securing the most desirable partnerships should be completed, whether it be in business, love, or any other aspect of your life. It's also a wise time to take whatever opportunity for relaxation comes your way. Hmm. And finally, December in a personal year 2. Considerable power from next year's vibrations will already be making its presence felt as feelings of change and the desire for travel. It's an interesting transition month in which the diminishing spiritual growth unites with the emerging mental growth, providing double benefit to those who are ready to avail of such an opportunity. Okay, so December in a personal year 2 is a transition month. It's an interesting one at that because the diminishing spiritual growth at that time unites with the emerging mental growth. So you get a double benefit at that time. Isn't that great? Wow. Well, you guys, we have come to an end of this episode. Excuse me. We've come to an end in this episode. Let's see. That was interesting, to say the least. When we come back, we'll be going over the personal year 3, 4, and 5. And then after that, we'll finish up with 6, 7, and 8. And we'll be into chapter 10. We'll go over the pyramids, right? This pyramids he's talking about. I'm like, wow, all of this is brand new for me. So it's blowing my mind. I did chart out my personal year numbers for 2027, 2026, and 2025. And it's just a simple of just going back, writing it all down because there's a cycle. It just goes from, 1 through 9 and back again to 1 through 9. So, but you got to figure out that world year number first, right? Yeah. I'm gonna when we come back next time, I'll make sure I have the graph pulled up, right, showing the length, the wavelength, and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and get that on here so that we can pull that like we were pulling up the numerology grid. But I understood what he was saying about a personal year 2 and the personal year 3 because the personal year 3 is on the mind plane. Remember that, and it was all about memory. So to hear that here in this personal year 2, towards the end, is getting ready for this memory change, and you know what I mean. This year 3, which is on the mental plane, it's lining up with what's been said already. So you can see how just knowing numbers 1 through 9 can just help you in general because you kind of know exactly what themes you're dealing with during those times, right? So thank you for being here, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Make sure to hit that notification bell when you subscribe so that you don't miss any other episodes, okay? Until next time, wholeness and balance.